Salutations from space and aloha from Earth. I'm Gemini Brett, astronaut of More Than Astrology and celestial navigator of the StarryTelling podcast. And today I am very pleased to introduce myself for the first time as Agent 1123 of the Cosmic Intelligence Agency. It is a great honor to have been welcomed into this fold of celestial agents covering our terrestrial globe. When contemplating some new gold I might bring, I decided instead to sing of the old. So please join me on this arts of the chart quest into the vernacular of our astrological craft through the lenses of the four sacred sciences known as the Quadrivium, which are arithmetic, or number, sacred geometry, number in space, musical harmony, number in time, and astronomy, the living vows of the marriage of heaven and earth, the above and below, the within and without. Please have no doubts when you hear such wonky words as science, arithmetic, mathematics. Number is nature, and we will approach her mysteries gracefully and with reverence. This is a practice, not a test. Let's take a look at the CIA's crest. What a beauty to behold! And we spy, perhaps, the two numbers most sacred to our astrological craft. A star of 7 rays emanating from a ring of 12 signs, which of course are 2 6s. And if we journey through space, we'll find the 6 shows 4. And indeed, the 4 shows 3. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, though. Actually, 3 is a wonderful way for us to begin chapter 1. For these 7 lights of ancient skies are symbolized in modern times using these glyphs composed of 3 elements alone. They are the circle of spirit, the crescent of soul, and the cross of matter. What's the matter with that? Well, nothing. But what does this tell us about astrology? And why is this the circle of spirit? And we can imagine that this symbol is older than any of the glyphs that we use in astrology, though we know it's one of the principal elements to create the astrological glyphs of the planets. This symbol of a crescent must be pretty old. We can imagine the moon's been around a little bit longer than our craft. Certainly we see this symbol all throughout the traditions of the globe, space and time. Why is this spirit? Why is this soul? Why is this matter? Well, let's have a look. And to do so, we will utilize one of the sacred arts of the Quadrivium, sacred geometry, spirit in space. There's only 2 tools for the geometer. There's the compass and the rule, the line. I could use this one. We're not going to ever measure here. I could use this one, the square, though we also won't use anything like this. Really just a line, just a straight line. So it said that the compass, which makes circles or curves, is the yin, or the feminine. And that the square, or the rule, which makes straight lines, is the yang, or the masculine. Now we are here to engage the mysteries, but there will be no secret handshakes, and please, let's not get lost tripping about potential systems of control. And no, we do not automatically fall into some duality matrix rabbit hole when considering the not to through lines and circles or ones and O's. If you are uncomfortable with terms like masculine and feminine, that's cool. Please simply substitute with yang and yin or whatever feels right. It seems to me that here in the Earth game, the mysteries of creation demand my contemplation of these sacred 2 energies that spin in me and you and in everything. True? Cool. 'Cause we're going to San Francisco, dude. I mean as a thought experiment. Let's say you're here with me right now. We're drinking great tea, and we have a great idea. Let's go to that beautiful city by the bay. Okay, no need to delay. The bags are packed. The car is full of gas. Actually, we're past that. We've got a free energy mobile machine. We've got this great question to answer. Which route are we going to take? Let's just say that there's no deadline. We're all about live lines here. We can take all the time we want. Now the line, the rule, says I'm the shortest distance between here and there. And between Seattle and San Francisco, the closest you're going to get to the line is Interstate 5. It's not a bad trip. We go through amazing cities like Portland, Eugene, Oregon, Mount Ashland, Mount Shasta, and get to cross the Golden Gate Bridge. So that's the line's mind. And that's the way to go. We could utilize that side of self if it's all about going to San Francisco. But what if it's about going to San Francisco? What if we decide the journey is more important than the destination? Perhaps we'd want to head west and check out the coast. It's a much more curvy route, you know. It's going to take us more time. We'll probably want to stop and sleep somewhere. And who knows where we'll do that. But we've got a tent, and we'll meet some friends. Or we could get a hotel if we have to. Or even sleep in our free energy mobile machine. So the coast, the curves, demands our compass, demands our yin. And that's the going to San Francisco. Equally as cool as going to San Francisco. So we each have these principles, right? We each have the curves and the lines. Are we on the same page? Stellar. Then the intro is done. Back to the pad for Astrogeometry Chapter 1. Just what in the heavens is the sun? Though I know the O looks like a 0, the truth is the circle is much older than that number, which might not be a number at all, but that's a story for another time. It has been said that back in the day, the circle of spirit was used to symbolize the number 1. The one, the all, the indivisible, the never-ending, in any direction you go. All that is the circle of spirit, which really is this, isn't it? Because here in this plane, the two-dimensional circle represents the three-dimensional sphere, the perfect form, though you can see here some imperfections in the crystal. But one of the great teachings of drawing sacred geometry in this harmonic art is it's almost impossible to be perfect, and that the imperfections are part of the perfections. Some of the mysteries, age-old, called this the perfect form, the shape of the heavens, and even the great goddess herself. So it's interesting to see that shape, sometimes called goddess, as the symbol reflected in 2 dimensions of the sun. For aren't we told that sun is masculine, is male, is yang, it only rays out. It's purely expressive, purely creative, no receiving, no reflecting. That's the job of the moon, the yin. And many, especially older paradigms of astrology, literally see the sun on the chart as the father and the moon as the mother. I believe that is a holdover from the words of Hermes, who in the Emerald Tablets wrote, "The sun is its father, the moon its mother, the wind hath carried it in its belly, the earth is its nurse." Now, I'm not the first to suggest that Hermes there was speaking about the 4 elements. The sun is its father. Well, if the circles, if the curves are the feminine, again, the sun is all curve, it's all circle. Well, it's not actually all circle, is it? For the symbol of the sun also has this colored in point. What's the point? What is the point? Is this perhaps source, another circle of spirit? In this ancient symbol, the circumpunct, the circle of spirit around this point of source? Well, telescopes and stars teach us this, don't they? If we, the observer, drew closer and closer to that point, wouldn't it become a sphere? And what if we drew further and further and further away from that sphere? Wouldn't it become a point? Yeah, we leave our solar system and travel to another. The sun we are approaching will become an orb, a sphere, a sun, while ours that we are leaving behind will become a point, a star in the sky. And still, all circular. Although maybe that point is a line this way into the ground from where I'm drawing, or maybe this way. Well, now that's interesting, you see. Because when we draw with a compass, one of the gifts of this circle is we will always know where its center is, for we started at that origin to draw. If I just showed you a circle and said find the center, it's actually a pretty difficult geometrical problem. It can be solved, and maybe we'll look at that down the road. But what I want to show you here is that this isn't just curves. It isn't just circles and points. There's something hidden here, and we can see it when we lay the compass down. Because before we could draw that circle of spirit from the point of source, we had to open the compass, didn't we? We had to ray out, create a radius. So just as the sun, symbolized by the circle of the spirit, has rays, the circle has a radius. The circle is the Holy Spirit, the whole and the spear. The whole, the holy, speared by spirit. The yin and the yang alike coming together to give us this great symbol of sun, the circle of spirit, the all that is, the indivisible. But what is the point? Who knows? I guess if I had to make one, it would simply be that the sun is much more than we could possibly see. It's more than character or personality, more than life force or fuel, more than father or mother or both or husband or wife. It is the source that feeds us light and gives us life. Perhaps spirit itself, perhaps the all. I mean, certainly in the microcosm of the all that is our solar system, the sun at the center is creator, creation. I like to call the sun the key of your song. And I'll speak more about that as we move along. In the shamanic astrology mystery school where I began my astro quest, the sun is known as great mystery. It is the one of the seven lights that we cannot stare at without going blind. Certainly we are much more than our sun sign, or I'd call myself Scorpio Brett. I'm not here to teach you Daniel Jamario's paradigm of the shamanic astrology mystery school. I'm not here to teach you mine. Shamanic astrology's principles, many of them remain the stock of my Starry Study, but I study many kung fus, and so do you. No, I'm not here to teach you my astrology. I'm here to further remind you to remember yours. For astrology herself grows and evolves, and as we find our own way, we assist that revolution. I thank you for doing so, and I thank you for joining me on this quest. Your homework, should you choose to accept it, is to draw along. I watched many sacred geometry videos, and then finally I got my own compass. And everything changes when you do. They say when you put the compass in your hand, you become creator. I recommend these maped compasses. I'm not sponsored by them, but they're cheap and they draw better than expensive ones I own. You can get kits for like $6 US online. Check it out, MAPED. And your homework then is just to draw circles and trance out into them until you drool in the paper and discover what circle is. Who am I to say? The books told me spirit. Is that true? It seems as I dive into examining what I was told, I often, for myself, prove that they were true. But now I know why. And that's what this quest through the Quadrivium to examine astrology should help us do. I'm posting this chapter 1 on January 23rd, 2017. When we play with numbers, we'll know that 2017 reduces to 1. So 1, 2, 3, 1, not too far from 1, 1, 2, 3. And at some point we'll talk about the golden number and Fibonacci. But that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed chapter 1. Next week, I'll be back with chapter 2, the crescent of Sol and the light of the moon. Until then, love and planets to you. This is your friendly astronaut Gemini Brett signing off. I will see you in